Hi everyone, EvilGraham93 back again with part 3 of my Highlander review series, and obviously this one's going to be Highlander 3, the Sorcerer. I think it also goes by another name, but I don't know it, I only know it as the Sorcerer, so yeah, it stars Christopher Lambert as Connor MacLeod again. He is the only remaining character in the series now. From 1 and 2, there's none of the others. Sean Connery's not in it anymore. Um, yeah, the new villain in this is Mario Van Peebles as Kane, the Sorcerer. Um, I believe it's also got the one guy from the Conan the Barbarian films, the old wizard. He's in this at the very beginning as well, but I can't remember what his name is. But yeah, Highlander 3, the Sorcerer. If you heard me talk about in Highlander 2, that it's not a very good sequel because it doesn't really explain much. You'll know what I'm on about with this film because this film is exactly like it. It basically starts off with Connor MacLeod he's now living in Japan with this old sorcerer, who's training him how to become even stronger fighting skills and how to make his own sword, so he can work better with it, something like that, make the steel stronger. And then Mario Van Peebles' character Kane and his two other henchmen eventually come to the cave and demand that they want the Connor MacLeod's head, as well as the old sorcerer, who is also an immortal. So Kane kills the sorcerer and absorbs his quickening, making him the sorcerer. And as the quickening is getting absorbed, it's bringing down the cave. So Connor MacLeod is able to escape. The other three get caught in there. So that's one thing that I don't like about these sequels, is that if if this is how the storyline was going to be, they should have at least mentioned Kane and his henchmen in the first film, saying that they can't take part in this because they're obviously trapped in the cave, meaning that Connor MacLeod was never the chosen one or whatever it is to get the prize, because there was at least three more what do you call it, immortals in the cave. And also they should have mentioned it in number 2 because number 2 is a bit more futuristic. So that's just the one gripe at the moment. So obviously, like, years go by and Connor MacLeod has obviously killed the Kurgan, and I'm not sure if this is meant to be set after Highlander 2 or before it, because there's no mention of General Katana or anything in there. It does mention the Kurgan, I believe, but that's it. Nothing about number 2, so that's pretty much the second gripe that I don't like about this. About these sequels, they don't explain each other. So so Conor MacLeod is basically, he's got an adoptive son now that he lives with, and something happens in Japan as well. They're digging out some old caves to try and find some treasure or something like that, or prove that there was a sorcerer that used to live in the caves, and they accidentally dig out Kane and his men, but his henchmen get killed pretty easy, not even by Conor MacLeod, but by Kane himself. So as Kane's a sorcerer, he can pretty much do whatever he wants. And again, they copy his character from the Kurgan as well. He just goes running amok and he doesn't care what he does. And the love interest in this film, I believe her name is Deborah Unger. The only other film I've seen her in is the Silent Hill film, and she plays the witch character in that. The one that all the religious nutcases call the witch. She's the love interest in this film, but I think she's something to do with the museum or something like that. It's digging in Japan, but obviously goes around in Highlander fashion. The Kane's kidnaps Connor MacLeod's adoptive son, and then they have that one final fight at the end. and it's basically the same as all the other films. He absorbs the quickening and becomes the One again. So yeah, but saying that, it is much more enjoyable than the second one. Um, Whereas they try to have General Katana in the second one, try and copy the Kurgan, um, right down to the exact point, and it didn't really work out very well. They did it in this film with Kane, and it did actually quite work. They put Kane as really ruthless and merciless, so pretty much like the Kurgan. So I think they've done that well, but without copying him. But yeah, it's a pretty decent sequel. It just doesn't explain a lot from part two. This is pretty much a direct sequel from part one, but it doesn't tell you if it is or not for part two. That's what I'm trying to say. But yeah, like the second one, this is a entertainment and video release. No special features. It's 95 minutes long, so it's a little bit longer than part two, but still a decent runtime for what it is. Yeah, there's not much else to say. Probably a 7 out of 10 for me, this one. I know it's definitely better than part two, so yeah, that's Highlander part 3. If you need any questions, just ask and I'll answer them to the best of my ability. So I guess I'll see you in part 4 of my Highlander reviews, which will be Highlander 4 The End Game. So see you all later. Bye.